Hi, welcome to the Fortinus Events podcast series, where we sit down with finance and business leaders to explore how technology, data, and leadership are shaping the future of decision making. I'm your host, Rashika, and in each episode, we uncover practical insights that today's CFOs and finance teams can apply in a rapidly changing landscape. Today's conversation is all about moving beyond spreadsheets and understanding how modern FP&A platforms are enabling finance leaders to operate faster, smarter, and more strategically. Joining us today is Ryan McDonald, Head of Partnerships at Abacum. Ryan, it's great to have you with us today. Thanks for joining the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me too. Just by way of introduction, I'll introduce myself and then I'll introduce a little bit and tell you a little bit about Abacum. So first of all, I'm Ryan McDonald. As mentioned, I'm the head of partnerships here at Abacum. I've got 20 years of experience in SaaS, and I've spent almost the last 10 years in FP&A software. So I'm very passionate about the space. In fact, so passionate that I found Abacum, an amazing product just a couple years ago, and I came on board about a year and a half ago to help build out the partnership channel here and work with many amazing consulting firms around the globe, and including one called Keyrus, who we're a co-sponsor with. A little bit about Abacum. We're a global software company. We are the most scalable native AI FP&A solution for mid-market companies, striking the perfect balance between flexibility and ease of use. And we have an extremely powerful multi-dimensional modeling engine and very easy ways for non-finance users to be able to come into the platform and collaborate with finance users to create a really good way to partner across the business when it gets down to how you actually budget and forecast in the organization.
Great. Thank you so much, Ryan, for the introduction. So now let's jump into the conversation. Ryan, Abacum's mission is to transform how finance teams plan, collaborate, and make decisions. So from your perspective, how is this redefining the traditional FP&A function?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a couple of things. So first, you need to have the right data to be able to collaborate on it, right? And I think for the longest time, we're not starting a new category, but there's been we're in the third generation of FP&A software. A lot of people have heard about Anaplan and adaptive planning, which are great solutions and powerful, but it's always been challenging to get them up and running fast and also get the data connected so the whole organization can collaborate around that. And I think that's one of the things that makes Abacum as a next generation, a third generation platform unique, is because we can connect all your data sources very, very quickly. We're talking like using native data integration connections, as well as being able to connect to other data warehouses to pull in unique data sets. Then we give you the ability to just manage that data, and we have an AI layer on top of it to keep the data clean. Once all that comes in, right, in a speedy way that you're confident about the structure of the data and the accuracy of the data, we give you the most beautiful, easy to use user interface for finance users and non-finance users to actually come in and collaborate around a single pane of glass, right? Because it's not just finance data anymore. The CFO, the office of the CFO needs to understand all the operational data, the headcount data, and everything that goes along with it to truly drive the performance of the business. And they need inputs from the operators too. And so that's what's unique about Abacum, is that we have the strength of the platforms that have been around for a long time, but we have the agility of a new platform and also the ability to layer in native AI capabilities to actually help you proactively clean your data, source insights faster, and then a really nice user interface for operators that are in non-finance to come in and understand it and actually put finance leader, what do I see here? And be able to have a conversation back and forth, just like you would on any other platform that you're used to using.
All right. Okay, Ryan, moving on to the next question. Automation and real-time collaboration are the central to Abacum's approach. What challenges do these capabilities solve for finance teams that are still heavily reliant on spreadsheets and manual processes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's a lot of things that come into play there. I think first, when you think about efficiency and automation, we're able to cut down like all your reporting cycles, just the tactical reporting you have to do, like 80%, right? Automating all of that. And then also using things like AI to automate the insights on top of it too. So then you can actually provide analysis faster, but have control over that analysis and who you share that out with in a secure way. And this efficiency level is surpassing a lot of the legacy solutions in the market. But then also when you think about scalability and flexibility, we're actually creating less of a barrier of entry for these mid-market companies, so you can get in faster at a price point that makes sense. But you can also scale up to, we've got many public companies on the platform, but we also have companies that are 150 employees, right? That start with the platform, get value fast, and then scale up. Or we have some that come in at 15,000 employees, right? And build out very robust, mature, think about all the different entities and stuff that they have to manage too. And so we can handle that across the board. And I think that says a lot. And then on top of that, it's important, going back to what I said earlier, is being able to pull all the data into one place, because the office of the CFO, it's more like you're not really a chief finance officer. You're like the chief business performance officer now. And you really need to understand not only what's happening on the revenue side, but the expense side, how it all works together in one place. And that's what we're enabling. We're enabling you to get all that information in, see it in one place, build the KPIs around it that can help you manage the business, and collaborate with the rest of the organization to keep them all on the same page, and then also get the inputs you need to make decisions quickly. And that's the type of advantage that you get. You have more efficiency and automation and native AI capabilities layered onto the platform.
Thank you for that, Ryan. So next one is when finance teams start to use Abacum together with Keyrus to implement integrated planning and performance management solutions, what's a typical aha moment that they experience?
Yeah, I think there's a perception in the space when you're coming in to implement a planning solution that, man, this is going to take a long time. It's going to cost a lot of money, right? And especially in your finance, you're thinking about what's that return on investment going to be. I was interviewing one of our customers for a case study, and it was really cool to hear. This company had about 800 employees, called Kajabi, and their implementation took about 9 weeks total. But they told me that they started seeing aha moments in the first and second week, because you're able to connect to your data sources right away. And you're able to clean your data within the platform and set it up to where it's structured the way you need it, not just your ERP data, but your CRM data, your operational data, right? And so when you're working with Abacum and Keyrus, we're going to help you kind of map out a journey. Let's connect to your data. Let's help you in the first 1 week, 2 weeks, get all your reporting set up. So all the manual reporting in that case of the client Kajabi I was interviewing, their CFO is really excited to tell me about how one of the analysts on his team called him up and was super happy because they didn't have to do this reporting that took them hours every couple of weeks that they dreaded, right? And now it was automated. And that was just in the first week, second week of implementation. And then you start adding more parts of that implementation in the next phase, which is actually building up the whole financial model. So now you can start to do budget versus actual analysis. You can start to do scenario analysis. You can start to roll your forecast forward every week, right? So I think that's what's really exciting about working with Abacum and Keyrus, is that you have an extremely modern platform that's going to allow you to drive this efficiency and time to value quickly. But then you also have an expert team like Keyrus that can help guide you and help you actually set these up. So as the finance owner that's implementing this, like, you can actually show the business that you're already getting value really quickly out of something that you've invested in for the business too. And I think that's a critical thing. And I think that's that's a huge benefit when you have, a market leading platform working with a global leader like Keyrus that has that has a ton of experience in the space of working with finance and implementing EPM and CPM solutions.
That's great. So it makes the lives easier, so much easy, right? So
Yeah. I mean, you have quantifiable. So you have quantifiable metrics that you can point at right away, where you get that time to value. But then you also have the qualitative metrics, right? You have the quality of life for your team too, that finance team. So like the finance team doesn't want to sit there doing like super mundane manual tasks that aren't strategic for the business. So being able to automate that and actually automate it with confidence and allow them to focus on things that are going to help increase revenue or save costs, right? I think that also helps you think about like just the happiness of your finance team, right? The mental health of the team, and think about what that can do for the business too.
so quality data and quality time, both that they have both them. All right.
Right.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ryan. So next one is finance is increasingly becoming a strategic partner to the business. How does Abacum enable CFOs and their teams to deliver more value beyond traditional reporting and budgeting?
Yeah, for sure. Love that question. And I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Chief Business Performance Officer, right? And finance teams are business performance teams now, right? Finance is at the center, and it's and Abacum's the single source of truth, right? So think about bringing all of your accounting data in, all your sales operational data in, headcount data into one place. And you have sales that's looking at revenue, all the other teams are looking at costs. And if you think about each of them individually, you're going to end up with a mess. So you need to ensure there's a good way to connect all the systems together. That's what Abacum does, right? Create the KPIs you're going to use to measure your business, and give that chief financial officer, the office of the CFO, all that information in one place, right? So they can really help drive, the needle, and that's critical, right? And see all that in one place. So that's what we do for the CFO and that shift to strategic finance.
That's great, Ryan. Okay, moving on to the next one. So now, as organizations face growing pressure for agility and data transparency, how can CFOs leverage platforms like Abacum to drive faster, smarter, and more confident decisions?
Yeah, I really like this question. This actually also reminds me of one of our clients, Cortex. So there's a lot of different use cases. I've talked about a few of them already, but Cortex is like head of finance and operations, runs the board meetings for all their investors. And one of the use cases that he talks about leveraging Abacum for is actually all of his board reporting. Every month, he has this entire board report. Like when he closes the books, everything flows through, all the board reporting is done, and he can share out that space with his board to come in. So thinking about like he's got all the data coming into one place, right? He's got a beautiful space that looks extremely professional, that's easy to use for finance and non-finance users. So now when the board comes in, they're able to see data quickly. The CFO is confident about what they're seeing. They can collaborate around it. And the quality of the visualizations and the interaction represent the quality that a CFO wants to put out to the board to exude confidence, and then also give them something to provide feedback on, right? So the business can get better. And on top of that, right, is you're able to leverage AI. Again, you're able to leverage AI to actually produce insights faster at the same time to make it so you can provide more probably granular insights to the board, because you have a lot of different dimensions and data sets that you're bringing in. It's hard for one person or a couple people to synthesize all of that. But since we have AI kind of natively built into the platform, you can point it at a table, and you can point it at like different dimensions that you want to see analysis on, and it can automatically produce that right there in your board report. And then you can obviously edit it, make it bigger, smaller, and collaborate around it too. So that's a great example of how you can use that to create better transparency, create collaboration, right, and better decisions, and also confidence from your external and internal stakeholders.
that will be so great, and then they will be so thankful for the software that you guys invented. Okay, Ryan, last one. So looking ahead, what innovations or trends in FP&A technology excite you the most? And how are Abacum and Keyrus helping shape the future of finance planning and decision making?
Yeah. So for those of you that are listening into this podcast, it's great to have your attention. Again, I mentioned how Abacum is a native AI FP&A platform. We have many capabilities already natively like built into the platform that helps you clean your data, that helps you forecast, that helps you drive analysis, that helps you detect anomalies. And then kind of what we're excited about now is that we've released agentic AI that actually will help you like you can start to have conversations and actually proactively surface data and insights to you right away. So that's kind of the near term thing that excites me, is just how like agentic AI is going to start to come into play more to help you actually do your job faster and surface insights faster, help create, to like tell it to just go create the charts for you, right? Have it build models for you, and things like that. I think that's what excites me about kind of where this is going, is the ability for AI to actually work with numbers better, and Abacum is in a unique position, and the reason we are in a unique position is because, listen, our technology is, just in a simple way, our technology is on built on a modern platform. And when you compare our platform to maybe some platforms that have been around for 20 years, it all starts with the data, right? And we had that in mind when we were building Abacum. It's about how do you manage and how do you process that data in a structured way. And the fact that our system is set up to handle very, very large amounts of data and process large amounts of data in a structured way at a very granular level, it's allowed us to deploy all these AI capabilities ahead of the rest of the market. And so that's why we're excited about kind of where we're already at today and ahead of the market, but then also about kind of what's coming next and continuing to innovate on top of that and stay ahead of the market, and then also provide innovative solutions for our clients.
All right. Ryan, thank you so much for sharing those insights. It's been a great discussion, and I'm sure our listeners gain a lot of value from your perspective on more than FP&A and finance transformation. All right. So before we wrap up, I would like to highlight that Abacum and Keyrus are the co-sponsors of our upcoming summit in this January 2026 in Manila, Philippines. So they'll be on site showcasing their innovations, platforms, and solutions designed to help finance teams move beyond spreadsheets and embrace integrated data-driven planning. So if you're a CFO or finance leader looking to upgrade your FP&A capabilities and see how technology can truly support strategic decision making, make sure you connect with Abacum and Keyrus at the event and explore their solutions firsthand. Ryan, thank you again for joining us today.
Yes, thank you very much. See you
All right.
guys all at the summit. Bye.
All right. To everyone listening, thank you so much for tuning into the Fortinus Events podcast series. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Thank you so much, Ryan. See you at the summit.
Bye.